I would also appreciate all the leaders, all the organizers. Like I said, I know they've been trying to make this happen. And we appreciate you for the great work you are doing. I was given a topic, so I'm going to try to stick with that topic. Praise God. All right, so I was asked to address conflict. I don't know if this is okay with the organizers. We're thinking because from the program I saw, I was supposed to speak, then do Q&A, then my wife speaks, then does her own Q&A. We're wondering if I can speak and she speaks, then we'll do a combined Q&A. So, the reason is because I'm not as smart as people think I am. So I would like to do Q&A with her, so that when the hard questions come, I can just say, Pastor Mildred will answer this question. Praise God. Some people don't know that's part of the purposes of marriage. Is to marry somebody smarter than you. Yes, so that we'll know who will do homework with the children. Yes, because there's some homework, it's not the children that failed it. When they mark it, they say, Junior, you failed your homework. They say, it's my daddy that did it. My daddy that did it. So you marry appropriately to save yourself. Praise God. But interestingly, that's not the purpose of marriage, but that's not my topic, so let me not go into that. But today I was asked to talk about conflict, how to manage conflict. And one of the things you must be prepared for is that conflicts will come. That's one of the things you have to be prepared for. You'll be amazed at how much knowledge will impact the success of your marriage. You'll be amazed. And when I mean knowledge, I just don't mean academic or theoretical knowledge. I mean actually knowing the real stuff. So something like knowing that conflict is going to happen will totally change how you react. Okay, let me use a practical example. We all know that right now Nigeria we've not handled the power issue in Nigeria. Hope everybody knows. We know that, right? We still deal with outages and all that. Hope you know that in some developed parts of the world, when there's an outage, people panic. I hope you know what I'm saying. There are people that have to be rushed to the hospital. Say, what happened? Say there was darkness, for 1 hour. There was outage and they had anxiety. What's the difference between those people and us? We are even anxious when there's 24 hours power. That's when we have anxiety. Now, what's happening? They didn't off lights. They should not spoil something in my house. Praise God. You are bothered when there's unnecessary light. What's the difference? And why are people leaving those countries where there's 24 hours power and they're coming into Nigeria where there's no 24 hours power? What's the difference? They have first dealt with the information that the country you are going to, there might not be power. They've dealt with the information that the country you are going to, there might not be security. So, but because they have to come here, they have psychologically adjusted. So they are not shocked. So that's why we have white people living in Nigeria. Now, we have a lot of Nigerians that want to go and live abroad, which is not bad if that's what we want to do. But I'm saying there are people coming from abroad to come and live here that is very different from their own country. The thing they must do before they come is that they must be mentally prepared. That's what I'm trying to show you. So a lot of the situations you think you can't cope with, you have just not embraced the reality of that situation. That's why. So conflict is one of those things. It's going to happen. Conflict is going to what? Happen. Conflict is one of those things that must happen. And why? Why must conflict happen? Now please take note, there's a difference between conflicts and quarrels. So what people think when we talk about conflicts and conflict will happen, they assume that in every marriage, in every relationship, you must fight. I don't subscribe to that. You don't have to quarrel or fight. However, you will have conflict. If you are walking about thinking you must fight, then you would actually start to behave in certain ways because you're already expecting to fight. No, you don't have to fight each other. You're on the same team. Praise the Lord. You're on the same team. So you can have conflicts without it being a full-blown quarrel where you start insulting each other and saying, bastard, idiot, bloody fool. As a counselor, there are things I hear couples say to each other. I'm wondering, how did they arrive there? How did they get to that point of using that kind of language on each other? So conflicts must happen. And the second question is, why must it happen? Can't we live without conflict. I'll tell you why it usually has to happen. Conflict usually has to happen first because of the differences. In fact, another word for conflict is differences. They say we want to settle our differences. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? I don't even know why God thought or felt a man and a woman can live together. We are so different. Literally two different species of human beings. Literally two different species of human beings or creatures. Ordinarily, we are not meant to be on the same planet. We are not the same thing at all. So that is why conflict happens. Because we are two different beings. Two different beings. And because we are different, we always see things differently. That's part of the reasons why God, in his wisdom, he put a structure in a family. God, in his wisdom, put a structure in a family. That's why he said, oh, let the man be the head. Now, of course, when we use things like let the man be the head, in places like Africa where we are not strong on leadership, the men will think that means I'm the supreme being. And the woman will feel I'm an inferior person if I'm not the head. Ordinarily, when the Bible says let the man be the head, it wasn't really talking about superiority. It was talking about responsibility. And what God is trying to say is that because you guys will have different views about so many things, we have to create some form of order in that home. That's the only way it's going to work. If you say, okay, everybody just debate and do what you like, every time we'll have almost different opinions, almost every time. It creates order. That is why, with all the technological advancement in the world, most of you know that there are cars that drive themselves these days. They have Teslas and co that you just type your address or type your office and just sit in the car, and the car will literally just drive you there. With all that technological advancement, I'm yet to see a car with 2 steering wheels. That means with all that advancement, everybody knows that this car can have 6 seats, 5 seats, 20 seats, but there has to be only one driver. The day they make cars with 2 or 3 steering wheels, that car won't go anywhere. Because one person will want to turn right, another person will want to turn what? Left. They put 1 steering wheel. That's the same thing God did in a marriage, in a home. He put 1 head, 1 leader. Not because that person has to be a know-it-all or the supreme being, but that's the only way we can create order. Anything that has more than 1 head is a monster. It's not a normal creature. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So, we are 2 different species of beings. And we will always have conflict because we see things from different light. All the time. There's literally nothing the same about a man and a woman. Nothing. Nothing is even the same. Practically nothing. Let's start from Genesis. When God created man, he made man from the dust. When God created a woman, he made her from the rib. 2 different materials. Dust. Death. That's why till tomorrow men are not afraid of death. We came from death. Women came from bone. It's one of the most polished bones in a human being's body. It came from a rib. So men are rugged, women are refined by nature. Even if you see a mad woman, there's still sometimes they even have makeup. I'm telling you. They are just refined by nature. Men are rugged by nature. If a man, that's why a man can live in debt. Everywhere can be scattered. He will still have a good night's sleep. Most times a woman cannot. A man can wear his boxers for 5 days and still be smelling it to know if he can wear it 1 more day. Men, don't laugh too much. Women literally have to change their underwear and their clothes every day, sometimes more than once a day. They are naturally refined. It's not that they're cleaner than us, they are just refined. When a man says he doesn't have what to wear, he means he doesn't have anything clean to wear. When a woman says, I don't have what to wear, it means she doesn't have anything new to wear. She's refined. Men are rugged. Men are rugged. That's why everything about the woman is delicate. The way she makes her nails, makes her hair, makes everything. Even the material that was used, even the process of creation of a man, the word God made man is different from the word made that they use for woman, interestingly. Two different words. The one for man is like when you are playing with mud. You know, when you're playing with mud outside, just join it. But the one for woman is when you are making synthetic or polished furniture, skilled work. So women have generally better shape. Men are just straight. No shape. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? I'm just trying to show you that there's nothing the same about us. And because we are wired this way, we will always see things differently. Men are generally work-oriented. Women are generally family-oriented. It's not a bad thing. But that's how it is. The first thing God gave Adam was work. Women don't understand that. The first thing a man ever saw, ever had in his life was work. A man had job before he had a wife. He had a work before he had a wife. So his first love is always his work. Oh, women don't understand that. A man will gladly leave his family to travel to another country for work. A woman will gladly leave her work to travel to another country to stay with her family. The first thing God gave a woman was family. That's the first thing. First thing Eve ever had was a husband. That's why women love marriage programs, love marriage. Women love love. I tell men sometimes the woman is never marrying you, she's marrying marriage. You are just the only willing participant. It's not about you. She's interested in this marriage more than you. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? Because the first thing God gave Eve was a husband. That's the first thing she ever saw in her life. The first thing Adam saw was work. So he gets his identity from work. Women get their identity from marriage. When you meet your classmates 10 years, 20 years after school, what guys ask each other is, what do you do now? That determines whether they will shake you again or collect your number. So what do you do now? So, I'm MD, so-and-so. Oh, I'm commissioner of this. I say, yeah, my guy. He will shake you the second shake. He say, let me get your number. If you say, what are you doing now? I say, I'm looking for work. I say, oh, God bless you. Well. Yeah, that's what I go. We get our identity from work. When women meet 10 years, 20 years after school, the question is, are you married now? What they exchange is not business card, it's picture of their children. Say, come and see, my third born she's in so-and-so school. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? That's why I've preached, like the speaker said, I travel a lot. I've preached in all many different countries of the world. And I've ministered to different races. And one thing I've discovered with women anywhere in the world is that they love marriage, anywhere. That's why when you propose to a woman anywhere in the world, the reaction is the same. When somebody kneel down, give her a ring, will you marry me? She say, she can't breathe. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's like something she's waiting for all her life. And when she do, even women that don't know how we join, you don't even know her. She will do, they will do. Have you ever seen men shouting when they propose? Other guys say, are you okay? Are you ready for marriage? Do you have money? We don't rejoice. But women everywhere rejoice. Same reaction, no matter the race. When you propose to them, it's like you've offered them something they've been waiting for all their life. They love marriage. But that's the first thing they ever saw. And guess what? When Adam and Eve sinned and the curse was going to come on the earth, it came in the areas that mattered to them most. For the man, they said, now you will struggle. Because you can't curse somebody where it doesn't matter. If you want to punish me, for instance, and you say, from now on, you would always stay in your air-conditioned car. That's the punishment. That's not the punishment. Especially if I'm somebody that likes air conditioning. The moment they sinned, they said, you now, man, because you like work a lot, you will always now sweat to make it in work. And I thought they were going to say the same to the woman. Not at all. They said, you are going to have issues with family. Your desire is going to be to your husband. Is going to have the rule over you, and you have difficulty in childbirth. He spoke to men concerning work, spoke to women concerning marriage. In fact, there's nowhere in Scripture God speaks to men and women the same, especially regarding marriage. Nowhere. Everywhere he addresses them differently because they are wired differently. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? I'm laying this foundation because if you know, you will react better next time some things happen. You will actually see some certain trends and understand it. Men are, the way we say it is that men are selfish, women are selfless. But really, it's not that men are selfish. It's just that men, the way they are wired psychologically, they must take care of themselves first before they can help another person. A man feels it's useless to other people if he has not helped himself. If he's too hungry to think about what other people will eat, he has to first eat. Then he will have energy. Now say what to do. But if a woman gets to a house and there's only one plate of food, she will keep it for the people coming. That, my children are not eating. If a man gets to the house, there's only one plate of food, he will first eat. And say, okay, how are we going to help other people? Now that we have energy. He feels useless if he has not solved his own problems. So he's very self-centered first. A woman, on the other hand, is wired to please. So she will first think of other people first. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? I'm just trying to say, this is why conflicts happen. Because everything about us is different. Let's use communication, for instance. The reason why women talk is very different from why men talk. Women talk first because everything that goes on in a woman's life activates her vocal nerves. Everything. If she's happy, she needs to talk about it. If she's sad, she needs to talk about it. If she doesn't know how she feels, she needs to talk about it. Men only talk for important reasons. So women talk because they love you. Men talk because they want to solve the problem. So we say it this way. Women talk for affection. Men talk for information. Very important. Women talk for affection. Men talk for what? Information. So a woman will talk to you because you are somebody important to her. A man will talk to you because there's something important to say. So women don't understand why men don't want to talk all the time. There's nothing to say. Shebu, we left home together today. Why am I calling you in the afternoon? No problem, no problem. But for a woman, calling me is not about information, it's about affection. If you love me, let's just talk. We don't have to have an important topic. You are an important person. But for a man, no matter how important you are, we need to have an important topic. So a man, when I first started dating my wife, if I see her on Monday, I won't talk to her throughout the week till next Monday, our next appointment. And she'll say, you are not going to talk to. I said, all my gist, I'm keeping it. If I call you during the week and gist the gist, what will I gist? When you come. Because men have very limited words per day. Unlike women, women have unlimited data for words. It doesn't finish. Is somebody getting away? So she had to tell me, no, you have to call me. You have to call me and check up on me. So I had to start learning how to call for no reason. It was weird. Men don't know how to call for no reason. Just call a guy. How you doing? I just they call you. Guys don't understand that. Why? Because men are wired to call. If a guy is calling you, say, hey, you get your number. Give me this guy's number. You know somebody for Federal Ministry of... Guys call for important things. Men don't just call for... But women just call. How are you? Like, I'm just thinking about you. Whoa. Men don't do that. Is somebody get what I'm saying? I'm saying this to say almost every conflict you are facing is because two of you are different and you are seeing things differently. And if you have the background information, you will understand. Let me give you another common one. Women personalize everything. Men deflect everything. That's why when Adam sinned, the first thing Adam did was to blame somebody else. Men deflect. But women personalize. What women are guilty for and what they are not guilty for, they blame themselves. If a woman enters a room and her husband is frowning, she will first think she has done something wrong. That's how she sees it. That's why women don't like when men just sit down and think. So what are you thinking about? You say nothing. You say it's not true. You just sit down and blinking. What are you thinking about? You say nothing. Tell me what you're thinking about. Say, now I'm thinking about what to tell you I'm thinking about. Because women don't understand that for men can sit down and do nothing. But women's brain is so active. Pastor, women's brain is like 7-lane highway. Imagine that. 7-lane highway that you must use. This is why women can be having one conversation and jump to another conversation. They have lane. So I told the woman, at the end of the day, you don't even know what we're arguing about. So which one are we arguing about? Because she has 7 lanes. She can jump. Man, just one way. So he likes to stay on topic. So a woman's brain is so versatile, so developed, so active. Most people don't know, most women wake up tired. Their brain is too active. Even when they are sleeping, the brain is walking about. They did an experiment. They put a man on a chair. No activity, nothing. His brain activity reduced to almost zero. Men blank out. They put a woman in the same chair, doing nothing. Her brain activity increased. She was sitting there wondering, why am I doing here, sitting there with all the things I have to do? Her brain uses more than one side of her brain at the same time. She can juggle things. That's why you can be making love to your wife and she's asking you, is the door locked? Are the children asleep? Because one part of the brain is with you on the bed, the other one is walking about, checking whether they put food back in the freezer. Her brain is restless. A lot of times, women think faster. Men think slower. Men think slower and deeper. Men think very slow, but deeper. Women think fast. That's why women don't understand when a man says, I want to go and think about it. She's saying, so as you are here, you are not thinking. Because for her, she talks and thinks at the same time. She's fast. So she's impatient most time when she's communicating. If she's asking you something, she wants you to answer now. But a man's brain, slow. It's analog. Slow. You ask him something simple. He will say, I have to go and think about it. Because number one, he can't do more than one thing at the same time. Secondly, he needs time to process the thought. But women think on their feet. As they are talking, they are thinking. I like to counsel women, Pastor. If you counsel women, you'll be very happy. As they are telling you the problem, they will tell you the solution. You won't just be agreeing. They will tell you the problem, tell you the solution, they now pay you. Say, thank you very much. This is not this kind of job I want to do. Women, as they are, because women think on their feet. The more women talk, the more they think. But men, if men are talking, they are not thinking. If they are thinking, they are not talking. Men need appointment to think. So I want to go and think. It's an appointment. But women don't understand it because they think on their feet. I'm giving all these many examples to say, if you look well, most of the things that are bringing the main conflict in your home are things that are natural, that won't change. You are the one that needs to change. Change how you see those issues. Women personalize everything. If something goes wrong, a woman just blames herself. No matter who caused it, she first blames herself. She personalizes it. She just sees it as, I must have done something wrong. Something must be wrong with me. It must be my fault. So, I mentioned that we are different. In what ways are we different? I've mentioned the fact that we're different in terms of gender, male and female. We're also different in terms of personalities, okay? We're different in terms of personalities. Generally, in relationships and marriage, we find out that opposites attract. That's what we found out. Opposites attract. When we mean opposites, we don't mean opposites in value. Your values must be the same. But generally, opposites in personality. You will hardly see two talkatives marry, hardly. You always see one talker will marry a good listener. Two talkers don't like themselves too much. When they go on their first date, they say, I didn't enjoy the date. The guy was doing all the talking. He didn't even allow me to talk. When you go out to read talker, he will ask you a question, he will still answer it. He talks too much. So generally, talkers are attracted to listeners. Listeners are attracted to talkers. Listener talks in her mind. She doesn't have power to talk with her lips. So she's happy when she sees somebody that can talk. So when you go on the date, the person does all the talking. Two quiet people too don't like to go on dates. Have you seen two quiet people go on date before? It's very annoying. Just sit down, say. How are you? I'm fine. How are we? I'm fine. You like your juice? Nothing to say. Two quiet people, horrible. So generally, listeners marry talkers. Spenders marry savers. Usually, opposites generally attract. The outgoing person usually marries the very reserved person. Usually. In fact, they researched and found out that very few times will you see two jovial people marry. Few times. That more times you will see a jovial person marry a moody person. But they said you would never, almost never, see two moody people marry themselves. So they said moody people are not stupid, they are just unhappy. Meaning that as moody as they are, they know they can't marry each other. I'm moody. I'll not marry you two that are moody. So moody people, they know, they look out for jovial people. In other words, we look for something different from what we are. So second area of difference is our personalities. The third area of difference is our upbringing. What are some things that cause conflict? I like this arrangement. I like the other arrangement. Sometimes there's no right or wrong arrangement. It's that you think that the way you have known it is the right way. You know the way they cook beans in your house is the official way in your mind. That is the only way beans is cooked nationwide. Because that's what you grew up seeing. Some people grew up in homes where they don't fry meat or fry chicken. As they kill the chicken, they boil it, they serve it like that in the soup. Some people grew up in homes where you must fry the meat. If those people will marry and they're not ready to adjust, they'll say, you gave me meat that is fried. Or they'll say, you gave me meat that is not fried. Your upbringings are different. So when you're coming to marriage, you must come with flexibility. I'll get into how to resolve conflict in a bit. I'm just laying foundations. All right? So, all these differences is why we conflict when we talk. You know, in some homes, they greet with shouting. I don't know if you've been to those homes where it seems everybody has a hearing problem. Everything shouts, and they're not angry. Where are you going? Hey, how you going? Hey. When they are talking, neighbors think they're having a serious quarrel. No. They are happy. But there are some other people in their homes, everybody speaks very gently. They are very polite. You know, in some homes, when you wake up, you must greet, everybody greets each other. Good morning, Daddy. Good morning, Uncle. This. Good morning. Some homes, they don't greet. They continue from where they continued last week. You just wake up and say, hey, wait that, give me that. You don't greet. Now, if you come from a home where they greet, you say, why are they so rude in this family? They are not rude. They have greeted themselves at the beginning of life. When they met. That greeting is still valid. That's what they are using 20 years into the marriage. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. A lot of things you're fighting about, go and check it. You know, it's just a matter of knowing that your way is not the only way. Is done. Praise God. All right, so there are loads and loads of things. I'm trying not to, I have 40 minutes, so I'm trying to pack it in. So how do we start to resolve conflict? Now that we've known these differences, these so many differences, so many of them, how do we start to deal with it? The first thing I will ask you, the first thing is awareness, which is what I just did now. Be aware. Be aware that, okay, so this is why she does this. This is why he does this. Men are physical, women are first emotional. By the way, I have a book here titled How to Make Love to a Woman Without Touching Her. Please, all men, whether you're single or not, get the book. How to Make Love to a Woman Without Touching Her. Because men are very physical. Every human being is made up of 4 parts, okay? Now, biblically and essentially, we are 3 parts, spirit, soul, and body. But for the purpose of this teaching, I have to break it down. So we are made up of 4 parts, okay? For women are first emotional. Secondly, they are spiritual. Thirdly, they are mental. Lastly, they are physical. I'll repeat that. Women are first emotional. Secondly, they are spiritual. Thirdly, they are mental. Lastly, they are physical. That's how a woman's order of arrangement is, her composition. That means she will first react to things emotionally. You get the best out of a woman when she's emotionally taken care of or spoken to or dealt with. When you deal with her emotionally, when you are aware of her emotion. In fact, one of the most common things young couples will complain about, wives will say their husband is emotionally unavailable. Men arrangement. Men are first physical. Secondly, mental. Thirdly, spiritual. Then, lastly, emotional. So it's almost opposite. That's why if you notice, men are first physical. If you notice, if you have boys and girls as children, you have boy and girl children, you notice that the boys are generally more physically active. If there are boys here and there's stairs here, boys don't come down from these stairs, from this pulpit from here. Am I correct? How do boys come down? They're going to jump. They are physical beings. This is why women don't understand why 80,000 people will gather in a stadium to watch 22 people play football. Sometimes women don't understand. What are people watching? What are people enjoying this thing? Because we are physical beings. Women would rather sit down, watch a soap opera, watch reality TV, watch people talking, watch people fighting, watch people settling matter. Women enjoy that. Do you know, Pastor, that women watch other women doing makeup? Why are you watching somebody doing her makeup? Some of the biggest pages on YouTube are women watching other women doing makeup every day. The same day. Makes no sense to men. We would rather watch wrestling, watch some physical activity. And you see, I think our schools should even learn this, because sometimes we put boys and girls together on a seat. Women can sit still while I instill. That means women like to sit down and listen. Men like to do. If you're going to teach men, you must teach them different from how you teach women. Men are physical beings. So if those two beings come together to marry, they will have conflict. She is coming with her emotional expectation. He is coming with physical expectation. That's why a man can have sex at any time. Rent can be due. Landlord just wrote us yesterday, and the man wants to have sex today. The man is wondering, how can you be thinking about sex? We have problem. Because those two things are not related in any way. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Men are physical. They are physical. When you understand this, you will never deprive your husband sex. So to use sex deprivation as a weapon in marriage means you don't understand. Men are physical. Women say, is this all you think about? Yes. Is it food? Yes. Now, women struggle with that because in their own mind, they are first emotional. They believe there are other more important things than sex all the time. In the world of men, they are not more important things. This is very important. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? That's why the prostitute business is still one of the biggest spinners globally. Because men will any day, anytime, pay any price for this need to be met, no matter how angry you are. It's big. Every time you follow money, it's a need you see. Money doesn't follow shouting. It follows felt need. If you know how much goes into prostitution, both full-time and part-time, you'll be amazed. What am I saying? Women are first emotional. So if you want to make love to a woman, you start emotionally. You start with how you treat her. You start with how you talk to her. I counseled a couple pastors some months ago. The husband was very angry. The issue happened months ago, but he was still angry months after. He said they were about to make love. And in the midst of it, things had already started. And the woman said, we need to talk. He was angry. He said, now, I had to now explain to him, she wasn't trying to spoil the mood. She was trying to get in the mood. Because if something is upsetting a woman before, she's not free emotionally to enjoy the moment. She has to get that thing off her mind, off her chest, and she does that by talking. So talking for women is foreplay. Men don't know. Men think foreplay is only when I touch. No, talk is part of foreplay for women. You talk first. You see, but because men are physical, this makes no sense to them. What I'm trying to tell you is that sometimes the need of your partner will not make any sense to you. You learn it. Awareness. You learn that this thing makes... It's not that you don't see the point. A man doesn't see the point why we need to talk. We want to make love, you talk. How does talk help the matter? It doesn't make sense to you, but you need to learn that how I talk to her in the morning will affect how she performs at night. Women are very emotionally induced. You won't see the best of a woman except you appeal to her emotionally. Women can be anything to you. They can be a great danger. They can be a great blessing. But you must know how to talk to them emotionally. Thank you. When I see men that say, oh, my wife never agrees to anything, I say, your daughter doesn't know how to talk to her. You need to talk to her. You're a man here, you want to buy a sports car. You go and tell a woman, baby, I saw this car, 16 valve, 800 horsepower, something convertible. It makes no sense to a woman. So she's not going to agree. What you tell her is that, baby, as I get to this stage of life, I want to be spending more time with you. So there's this car I saw, only 2 seats. Me and you. We'll drop the top, evening like this, we'll take a stroll and we'll talk. You will buy that car. So don't go and say 16 valve, 800 horsepower. That's what you tell guys. You don't tell women that. That makes no meaning to them. Where are we running to? Appeal to her emotionally. Secondly, she's spiritual. She's spiritual. A woman has such an incredible spiritual need. Please understand, this thing is not that your partner is trying to be difficult. They are all chasing a felt need. Except you married a psychopath or somebody that is not mentally stable. If you married a normal human being, every time there's a conflict, the person is looking for something good. They are not trying to hurt you or harm themselves. Except you marry somebody that has a problem. If it's a normal human being you married, most times, what is causing conflict? The person wants something good. And you must train yourself to listen to what they are actually asking for. If you don't listen to it, you will just be fighting. Awareness. Women have an important, a very powerful spiritual need. They have spiritual need. That's why, Pastor, women are involved in all kinds of prayer online, all kinds of service. They're involved everywhere in the world. They join after this Sunday service. This one is not enough for them. They must join one online prayer, one online service, one online pastor, because they have a spiritual need. One man told me that he doesn't see his wife all week long, that every week she goes for one church program. Not her own church, any church. Because she has a spiritual need. Men don't have that kind of need. But women do. Because women need to be that's why men tell me, how come my wife respects pastor? He doesn't respect me. Very simple. Because the pastor is meeting a very important need in her life that you don't want to meet. You don't want to read Bible. You don't want to go to church. You don't want to pray with her. So she will always respect. All of us respect somebody meeting a need in our life. As busy as the president is, if he needs to barb his hair, he needs to be in touch with his barber. I don't know if you're going to say, there are big people trying to meet the president, but there are small people the president needs to meet. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Everybody respects who meets need. So respect is not by how big your shoulder is that you're meeting a felt need. The president can be very busy. Oh, your schedule is so tight. Hey, Mr. President, you need to barb your hair. Oh, I need to meet the commissioner. I need to meet the president of France. You can't go with this hair to meet the president of France. Are you getting what I'm saying? So he cannot see the governor. He cannot see a billionaire, but he needs to see his barber. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? Because everybody respects me. So you're worried that my wife doesn't respect me. Are you meeting her spiritual need? Are you meeting her emotional need? That's why we all respect our bosses. You don't have to like your boss. But if you want to collect your salary, you respect whether you like them or not. By the way, if you're a guy in the house, we have 2 books here I want to recommend. By the way, I think it's important. It's titled Praying for Your Wife. Guys, this book will get you results. Praying for your wife. This one is praying for your husband. So it's some basic scriptures you can pray for your wife or your husband, and basic prayer points attached to those scriptures. My wife wrote the book because these are the scriptures she prays for me. Very, very impactful. And I had to do my own scriptures I pray over her with the prayer points. Now, if you don't like your wife or you don't like prayer, if you like Pastor Mildred, if you like me and Pastor Mildred, our picture is on it, so you can buy it for that reason. And don't forget the one I mentioned earlier on, how to make love to your wife. So, the point is that women are spiritual. Then physical is last for women. On the other hand, for men, physical is first. So, most times a man is trying to make love to a woman, is touching her, because he is physical, you see. He's trying to love her like a man. Sometimes he goes straight to the point. Some men think that's very sexy. They want to be playboy in the night with their wife. Just go. Men don't know that thing irritates women. How do you just come from nowhere? Just touch. What's wrong with you? He said, very irritating. She's very irritating. Most men don't know that women don't even see their bodies as a sexual object at all. So women don't even, they don't see it like that. That thing exciting you is not exciting her at all. If you want to make love to her, you start by talking. That's how she gets in the mood. But I also teach the women to try to make moves with men the same way. So I want to talk to you. No, it scares men. Don't talk to me. All men worldwide hate that phrase, we need to talk. Eh? What has happened again? Because talking terrifies us. Don't book appointment to talk, just talk. Don't say we need to talk. He'll be worried, he won't sleep. Say, hey, God, what has happened? So, I tell men that every part of a woman's body is sensitive to touch. So even when you're trying to make love to a woman, you don't have to go straight to the main organs. You can touch her hair. It's part of her. You can touch her back, her shoulder. All parts of her body is soft. A woman's body is like 10 times softer than a man's one. A man only has feeling in one part of his body. The rest, no feelings. So a man is working on his laptop. The woman wants to make move. He's touching his hair. He's saying, any problem? You can see I'm working. I'm busy now. Because she's touching him like a woman. No, men don't need to. Don't touch my hair. There's only one place that have feeling. Just go straight to the point. Praise God. Pastor might not bring me back here. I'm saying things he doesn't want me to. Praise God. So let me move. So number one, awareness. I have to rush now. I have 10 more minutes. Okay. I've told you, you have to be, because if I start the story, we won't know when we're. So quickly, number one, awareness. So that's what we've done already. You realize that every time you see a conflict, the person, except the person has mental issues. If it's a normal human being, they are looking for a felt need. They're trying to meet a need. Everybody's chasing happiness. You must understand that. All right? So they're trying to meet a need. So awareness of that. That's number one. Number two is acceptance. Acceptance. Once you are aware of this need, second thing is to accept the need. Is to accept the need. Now that I'm aware that my wife needs to talk, I've accepted it. I'm not fighting it. In fact, I'm developing my communication skills. Women like as much details as possible. Unfortunately for men, men's brain are not wired for details. Again, this is very important. That's why if you ask a man, how did the day go? What did your friend say? He doesn't tell you everything that was said. He tells you what he has summarized the statement to. What did your friend say? He's going abroad. That's not what he said. He has explained why. He has explained all the situation. He has explained what's happening in his office. He has explained what's happening in the country. He has explained, but the man just summarizes it to one sentence. If you ask a woman, what did your friend say? You say, sit down. She's going to tell you what was said and what was not said and what she assumes. Because her mind picks details. Her mind is wired for details. A man's mind is not wired for details at all. A man's mind is wired for vision. That's why if you're here and a man, one of the major things you must provide in the family is vision. Vision. You are wired for it. Everything about a man is for vision. Especially the young men that are single here. You even need vision more than you need provision. A man is wired for vision. Scientifically, they found out. By the way, most times when I teach, I give both science and scripture and statistics. So, scientifically, they found out that men see better on a straight line than women can. Men can look straight. Because the ancient men were largely hunters. They must be able to see the prey from a very far distance. Straight line. Men see better on a straight line. They are wired for vision. They also found out that women don't see very strong on a straight line, but they see with the side of their eyes. Because most times those women were gatherers or they were family-oriented women. They had 5, 6 children. A woman must be able to sit in one spot and be able to see all her children playing around at the same time. So she could see from the corner of her eye. Most men don't know that women can see from the side of their eyes. Women can. Every time you're with your wife on your phone chatting, she's reading your chat. Sorry, ladies, I'm revealing your secrets. Every time I'm sitting beside your wife like this and you're on your phone chatting, she's looking straight, but she's reading your chat. Say, hey, you are going out by 4 today. Okay. Where are you going? He's looking straight, but it's your chat, she's seeing it. Women can see. That's why all women here that have gossiped with their husband before, you know, say your husband frustrates the gossip. Because most of the women can check people out turning. She's looking straight, but she's checking the guy out there. See that guy? He's looking at us. Why is he looking at us? She's looking straight. 2 girls, they're talking. The guy is here. Looking like this. She's looking at us. I hope he doesn't want to come here. The moment they want to join a man into that gossip, say, look at that man, he's by the right. The man will say, where is he? He's going to turn his full head because he can't do the same thing. And women don't understand. They say, don't look. We can't see. From the corner of our eyes. Every time I go to a store, maybe when I'm even abroad, I go to a Walmart or something, and a couple is together. Usually women recognize me first. And the woman is saying, is that Pastor Kingsley? Is that Pastor Kingsley? And he's talking to her husband. I know that the husband will soon spoil this gossip. because she's able to keep a straight face. Look at what she's looking, but she's talking about me. Is that Pastor Kingsley? I'm here. Is that Pastor Kingsley? The moment he tells her husband, I know her husband is going to turn. Because he can't see from the side of his eyes. So I'm looking at them and he will turn and check. I'll now wave to him. It's me. He will spoil the gossip. Because he can't look from the corner of his eyes. A lot of time men think they're the one that saw the woman first. She saw you first. She's the one that made you see her. Because she can see from the corner of her eye. So acceptance makes you begin to adjust. Acceptance. Number 3 is appreciate. Once you you are aware, you now, second one is what? Accept it. So you are no more trying to change this person. Because that's where the conflict gets tough. Because you're trying to change people. They found out that about 80% of the differences or your behavior of your partner is not going to change. About 80% of it. So it's you that will change. They won't change. So you accept it, then you begin to appreciate it. You begin to appreciate that this man acts this way. He's so work-oriented, but that also means he's a good provider. You don't want a lazy guy. You begin to look for the good sides, of that her behavior. There's always a positive side. You begin to appreciate it. I'm rushing, I have to close now. The next one is that when you start to appreciate it, then you begin to adjust. So you adjust for the person, then the last one you alternate. Part of what the differences are for is because it actually strengthens us, not weakens us. The fact that we are seeing from 2 different perspectives actually strengthens us. And after a while, what happens is that you rub off on each other. So that guy that talks a lot, that marries a woman that does not talk, after a while they rub off. The woman starts to talk more, the man begins to learn to listen more. If a saver marries a spender, like in my own marriage, I was the spender. My wife is the saver. Oh, my wife can save. How many people have, if you have married a saver, you know savers, they price everything they don't buy. Savers never spend anything. Spenders spend what they don't have. They say anything they like, say, give me 2, I'll be paying small. Spenders are owing many people. Spenders are owing, they should form association. Association of people being owed by Brother John. Spenders marry savers, but after a while, they will start rubbing off on each other. The saver will start to spend a bit after living with the spender for a while. Because she'll be saying, I'm saving anything. She's just enjoying life. Let me go enjoy small. She will start spending small. Then after a while too, the spender will start seeing the benefit of saving. That's what helped me in my own marriage. I was a spender. I had no problem making money. Just that I spend it faster than I make it. But every once in a while, I will say I need money. My wife will say, how much? So I'll need 500K. She said, I'll give you. I said, there's money in this house. I need money. She said, how much? 300K. So I'll give you. I said, I thought this whole house, we were finished. She said, there's money in this house. I discovered that there's benefit to having money. I've told Nigeria, stop borrowing from China. Borrow from my wife. She has money. Because she doesn't spend. She saves. Savers, no matter what's going on, if this world is ending, everybody's dead, go and meet Saver. Saver has something. Because they don't spend all their money. So, after rubbing off with her, now I'm a better saver. After many years of marriage. And she too, she's a better spender. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? So, the perspective, what this is supposed to do for you is that next time there's a serious conflict, before you start arguing, you will listen to what the felt need is. What's the person really saying? A lot of time men don't know that even the argument is not about the topic. So on that thing, I didn't have time to go into that today on communication. I tell men all the time, when women talk to you, women are not always talking about the facts. Women are usually talking about their feelings. So women talk based on their feelings. Men, on the other hand, talk based on facts. So I have 7 Ds I teach men for communication with women. I have 7 Cs I teach women communication with men. So if a woman says, for instance, you don't love me, most men think one of the D's is don't debate. A woman is never calling you to debate. But unfortunately for men, because we are fact-based, when you tell a man you don't love me, he will just enter debate mode. Say, good afternoon, fellow debaters. Panel of judges, my exciting audience, and the ever-accurate timekeeper. I'm here to defend the motion that I don't love this woman. In 1982, with all the women in our school, I pick only you, and you say I don't love you. Last month, your sister was getting married. I bought her Shebi, and you say, I don't love. He will enter debate mode. And have you say, with these few points of mine. He doesn't know that she doesn't need the debate. What she's saying is that I don't feel loved. That's all. And what you need to do is not to debate her, is to reassure her that, baby, you know I love you. You are the most important thing to me. Even this job, if you say I should not go again, I won't even go. She knows that's not the truth. You see, because men don't understand. When women tell men be honest, men don't understand what that honest means. It's not that type. She's okay for you to tell her that kind of lie. She doesn't mind. When you tell her, look, I will give the job for you. She, hey, that's what she wants. Hey, she be telling me. She will kick you out to go to work where you have to pay bills. She knows what. She needs to know that she's very important, or the most important thing to you at the time. So she's not saying factually that you don't love her. She's saying, I don't feel love. That's all. So it's not a call for debate. No, never debate a woman. If you debate a woman, you will never win because it's not even on the same topic. She's talking about feeling, you're talking about facts. You will never win. That's why most time when a man argues with a woman, he doesn't even know what the argument, what topic were we even? Because she has 7 lanes. She can move from this one to this one to this one. When you talk to a woman, you need to be careful because you don't know where we started and where we have ended. Because she has lanes, she changes lane. Amongst women, it's common. They just and they enter into the men. And like, if we're talking about one topic, let's finish this topic. Praise God. In closing, I will share this story in closing. Please try and get the books. A lot of them will help you. I'll say this story in closing. I traveled to Dubai one time. I and my wife. And I'm a football person, so I went to watch Champions League on the TV. I'm a football person, so Dubai is about 3 hours ahead of Nigeria in terms of time. So normal time, the match ends like 10 or so o'clock, but that means in Dubai time, it was ending like 1 a.m. Dubai time. So after the match in the viewing center, I entered the taxi and was going back to my hotel. I like sitting in front of cars, so I sat in front of the taxi driver. So as we were going, this guy was chewing gum in the car. This is the most irritating gum chewing you've ever seen. It was loud and angry and annoying. And he was shaking his head. What kind of irritating nonsense is this one? And I thought, okay, he will soon stop. Maybe because I just entered, he will soon stop. He continued. I said, maybe he will soon stop. He continued, shaking his head. After a while, I couldn't take it anymore. I said, what kind of behavior is this one? I began to give him, customer service coaching. Now you can't do this in front of your client. This is not professional. I began to give him all my life coaching knowledge. After talking, he interrupted me at some point and said, he's normally on night shift. This means he starts 12 midnight to 6 a.m. also. And that this means he sleeps during the day. But on this particular day, he didn't sleep. So as he's driving me now, he's sleepy. That's why he's chewing the gum and shaking his head. The moment I had perspective, you see, I thought I couldn't take it. But when I knew that this gum is what's saving our life, I said, be chewing. I want to be hearing you louder. Be chewing the gum. If you have to give me, I will chew with you. We must stay alive till we get to where we're going. So there are many things your partner is doing that you think you can't cope with. The moment you have perspective, you say he's not a good husband, but has he ever seen a good husband? Did you ever consider how his father treated his mom? If his father beat his mom and he's only shouting at you, he's an improvement. It's an improvement. That's all he saw. Men learn more from what they see than what they hear. If his father had 3 wives and he has only you, it's an improvement. So you don't expect him to know how to treat a woman. He's not. He might have never attended a seminar like this before. He has no good experience. Is somebody getting what I'm saying? If your wife was molested when she's young, it might affect how they are behaving. If your wife's or husband's first relationship, somebody took all her money, it's going to affect her, how she relates with money. When she doesn't see some figures, when some things don't line up. If they were betrayed and you say you're coming by 2 and you come by 2:30, they wonder where you went for 30 minutes. If you have perspective, some things you think you can't take, you'll be more tolerant. You'll be more understanding, knowing that this person doesn't hate me. They're just trying to meet a felt need. Were you blessed this morning?